Imagine 19th century London, the age of silk, spice, and high society balls suddenly overrun by the undead, zombies roaming the cobbled streets, aristocrats learning kung fu, and a 1-foot wall built to keep the infected out. Stick around, because today's tale is Regency England vs. the zombie apocalypse. Hey everyone! Welcome back to Movie Recaps Hub Podcast, the place where we turn your favorite films into chill, conversational deep dives. I'm Dylan, and if you're new here, make sure you hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. Alright, let's set the scene. England in the 1800s is buzzing with global trade, silks, spices, you name it. But along with those exotic imports comes a deadly surprise, a zombie virus. Before you know it, millions die, then rise again, hungry for brains. The government scrambles. They learn martial arts from China and Japan, then erect the Grand Barrier, a 100-foot wall around London, and dig a moat like Royal Canal. The narrow strip of land between them. It's ominously called the In-Between. Fast forward to the Second Battle of Kent. Zombies breach one bridge over the canal, slaughtering every villager in the In-Between. The king loses his mind literally and orders all bridges destroyed except one. The nobility pack up and retreat to fortified country estates. Talk about cutting your losses. Enter Colonel Darcy, our stoic hero. He arrives at a Hertfordshire estate investigating rumors of infection. After a thorough bite check by a priest, he's cleared. Inside, he pretends to join a card game, but secretly releases carrion FLIs. They land on one gentleman, revealing his undead transformation. Without hesitation, Darcy plunges his blade into the man's face, decapitates him, and scandalizes the guests by carrying off the head. Drama! But Mrs. Featherstone's daughter races upstairs, only to find the victim's niece already turned. Chaos erupts as the new zombie attacks. Meanwhile, in a neighboring estate, Mr. and Mrs. Bennett are raising 5 daughters trained in every martial art and weapon imaginable. Not your typical Regency upbringing, right? Mrs. Bennett, however, still dreams of husbands for her girls. So when a local dance is announced, she insists they attend, dresses and all, with hidden blades naturally. At the ball, Charles Bingley is instantly smitten with Jane's grace. He nudges Darcy to ask Elizabeth to dance. Darcy's famous line? "She's tolerable, but not handsome enough to tempt me." Ouch! Elizabeth overhears, storms off, knocks over a bottle. Classic embarrassment. Outside, she meets a zombified Mrs. Featherstone who tries to warn her until Darcy shoots her in the head. The alarm sounds. Zombies pour in. Guests flee, but the Bennett sisters unleash their training. Blades flashing, kicks landing, zero mercy. Darcy watches Elizabeth fight like a warrior, and suddenly, maybe he's intrigued. Next morning, Jane can't stop gushing about Bingley. Elizabeth rails about Darcy's pride. Jane receives a tea invitation. Riding over, she's thrown from her horse in a rainstorm. Musket backfires, and she ends up in a hand-to-hand brawl with a zombie. She severs its limbs, stomps its head. Heroic. By tea time, Jane's feverish. Darcy tests her with FLIs, no reaction. Elizabeth, ever the wit, crushes them in her hand and hands them back with a smirk. Over tea they debate what makes a real woman. Darcy's torn between admiration and annoyance. Later, Elizabeth sneaks out to watch Darcy train under the moonlight. On the ride home, they pass a fallen orphanage now home to zombie children. Creepy. Back at Longbourn, Cousin Collins arrives, the male heir to the Bennett estate, and brags about his patroness, Lady Catherine, a famed swordswoman. He hints at courting Jane. Mrs. Bennett blurts out Elizabeth's availability. Awkward. That afternoon, the group rescues a damsel from a wrecked carriage only to discover she's undead. The sisters execute her in a single volley. In town, Elizabeth meets Lieutenant Wickham. Sparks fly. Darcy sees them in jealousy. At the next ball, Jane dances with Bingley. Elizabeth and Wickham chat. Collins drags Elizabeth onto the floor, comic relief. Suddenly, a bell rings. Zombies in the servants' basement. Elizabeth and Bingley rush down. It's the zombie orphans again, led by a mysterious new friend. Darcy arrives, slashes them all, and accuses Bingley of being bitten. Elizabeth defends her friend and calls Darcy a tough warrior but a rotten companion. Bingley receives a letter families moving back to London. He plans to court Darcy's sister. Heartbreak. Collins proposes to Elizabeth only if she hangs up her blades. She refuses. Wickham confesses to Elizabeth that Darcy tricked Bingley into leaving Jane. He asks her to run away together. She says no. Wickham leads Elizabeth to a hidden church where a priest is feeding pigs' brains to the undead, preventing full transformation. Wickham's dream. Peace between zombies and humans. He wants funding. The Crown's coffers are empty. Elizabeth's intrigued but skeptical. At Collins's estate, Elizabeth meets Lady Catherine de Bourgh, Darcy's aunt and the ultimate swordswoman. She sees a painting of the four horsemen of the zombie apocalypse, the same figures from the woods. Wickham arrives seeking support. Catherine dismisses him. Darcy has him escorted off. Tension mounts. Next morning, Darcy confesses he loves Elizabeth but still considers her inferior. She unleashes fury, objects fly, punches land. They wrestle on the floor, pure cinematic chaos. She drives him off, sobbing. A few days later, Darcy's letter arrives. He explains he only led Bingley away to protect him. He did fund Wickham's education. He killed his own father when turned, and saved his sister from Wickham's clutches. He's off to investigate coordinated zombie attacks in London. Back home, Elizabeth learns Wickham eloped with Lydia to the zombie church. Catherine threatens Lydia's life unless Elizabeth marries Darcy first. Catherine challenges Elizabeth to duel her champion. Despite brutal blows, Elizabeth wins, earning Catherine's respect and permission to go after Lydia. At dawn, the sisters defy orders and ride toward London. Soldiers warn the bridge will explode to trap the horde, but the Bennets press on. On the battlefield, Bingley hurls bombs into a trench of zombies but is grabbed. Jane arrives, cuts him free. Elizabeth acts as a massive zombie, saving Darcy. Together, they race to the church. Darcy sneaks in, finds Lydia chained, uncovers Wickham's plan to unleash the undead army led by the four horsemen. Wickham guns the gate, unleashing the horde. Darcy breaks Lydia's chains. His horse breaks the window. Outside, Elizabeth charges in, slashes off Wickham's arm, rescues Lydia, and rides toward the bridge as bombs detonate. In the smoke and rubble, Elizabeth finds Darcy unconscious. She cradles him, whispers, "I love you." Cue the waterworks. A few days later, Bingley proposes to Jane. She says yes. Darcy wakes, proposes to Elizabeth. They marry together, with Collins officiating. Just when everyone cheers, Wickham appears at the ceremony, flanked by an undead horde, hinting this fight is far from over. Wow, what a ride! Regency balls, epic sword fights, and yes, zombies everywhere. If you enjoyed today's recap, smash that like button, drop a comment telling me your favorite twist, and don't forget to subscribe for more movie deep dives every week. Thanks for listening to Movie Recaps Hub podcast. I'll catch you next time.